Welcome back, everyone. Episode 3.
House Cats.
House Cats. We are currently, I'm hanging with all the ladies, as you could tell. We're having a great time. I'm up here in Salt Lake City. Just wanted to catch up with them, see them. But no, I'm down visiting a little bit of a family situation. So I got, we're over Zoom right now. Malik's with his dad. So we are doing this. We are dedicated to this game. It is Thanksgiving Day.
Turkey Day.
Turkey Day. Happy Thanksgiving, dude.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, man. Happy Thanksgiving, House Cats.
Let's go. Okay, so the episode starts out with kind of clips catching up with some of the ladies. The first one, Lisa.
Yes.
Dude, I that first little bit killed me because she is talking to her son in the car. Remember, with her husband? She's like, "Don't you know the 10 Commandments?" Do you remember what he said? He's like, "Do not smoke. Thou shalt not do anything bad." And like the dead-eyed husband's driving the car. He's just like, "Yeah, sounds good." I was just like,
You could just tell he had his life sucked out of him 20 years ago.
Gone.
Like, he's just existing now. Like he hear the 10 Commandments. He was like, "Yeah, that used to be fun."
He realizes like I should have got the prenup. I didn't. It's too expensive now to end this thing.
What did you tell him? What did you say Lisa's husband is? He's like, "I'm too lazy to get a divorce."
I'm too tired.
I'm tired. I'm too tired.
That's from Curb Your Enthusiasm. There's like, well, he's like, "Yeah, I want to get divorced, but it's just too much work." And it's like, it's so true because it wouldn't be a lot of work to get divorced. You got to split the money. You got to figure out the kiddo situation. You got to sign the papers. You got to do it. So if it's not bad enough, you'll just be like, all right.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, lawyers involved. It's just too much on both sides. Yeah,
especially if you don't have a girl like ready.
Damn that. Well, yeah, but then you might as well stay with her if you have a girl ready. Well, if you have another housewife, that'd be like a Heather who's she admitted like, yo, divorce. She was never in love.
That was hardcore.
That was hardcore. She was like, were you ever in love? She was always in love with she was like, I'm Mormon. I was like, what? What does that mean? What does that mean? Were you ever in love?
How crazy that religion is.
Yeah, and I kind of I fell in love with Heather this episode.
Okay.
I love honesty.
Okay. All right. You know what? Let's get into that because I do feel like there was some transformation from like the last episode to this one. I feel like we got a little bit more we got a little bit more of a view behind the curtain of why she is the way she is.
Yes. And the fact that she's so strong, the fact that all her life she knew was Mormon, the fact that she didn't really have like a I want to say a childhood. I wouldn't say that, but the fact that she was so strict and her firm belief was Mormon.
Yeah.
And that's all she loved. She said, well, I think I took away as did you ever love someone? She loved Mormon. And now she's divorced and woman was like, yo, would you have stayed? She's like, yeah, I would have stayed. I feel like she was judged her whole life.
I agree.
You kind of can see that in her just expressing herself and letting everything out. I felt, and she was very vulnerable. She was very sincere, and that little dialogue with her just expressing herself. And then the woman asked, "Were you ever in love?" And she was like 15 years old with a guy who didn't love me back. She was just crushing on someone. But we all been there before, and I'm pretty sure looking about her, she's gorgeous now, but back then, let's just be honest, her style wasn't in. They were going for the Heathers. So, they're going for the Whitney. So I could just tell that she had a lot of hardship. So when she did get married, I think that she was like, yo, this is my man. This is my king. This is my knight. I'm going to do whatever I can to make sure this is, I can see this out for the rest of my life. And the fact that he left, it was just, I kind of got sad. I felt, I felt where she was coming from.
Brutal. I felt like she definitely... so much pressure to be perfect, to be like this perfect wife who takes care of the kids. And then it is weird to think if that's your only identity and then the guy can still leave you, that's brutal.
And I was like, yo, it kind of felt bad. I felt bad. And I wanted to reach out to her. I'm sliding your DMs after this episode. and I want to just understand. I want to take her out on a date.
Let's work that out.
Let's set that up. Honestly, I want to take Heather out on a date.
Okay,
I mean,
good.
I get it. She has kids. I love women, older women who already got like goals, children. They keep snacks at their house.
She's got the business.
Got the business, and she's super nice. What she did with her younger women, and the word. We'll get to that later.
Got it.
She's a genuine. Like now, I take everything back. Earlier, like the previous episode said, she always wants to be around. Yeah, but I kind of understand that now.
Yeah, because that was brutal when she said, the only person I was in love with was someone who didn't love me back. I was like, whoa.
Do you remember?
Complex.
Yeah. Do you remember when you just like, and you gotta like put yourself in someone else's shoes? Do you remember when you loved this girl so much, and you couldn't tell her, and you finally did? She didn't love you back. Do you understand that feeling of heartbreak? And it's so hard to get over it. It was like, you're gonna be young, but maybe a girl like her, she still didn't like get over it. She just like, I'm in love with Mormon. And I was like, God damn.
Especially if she moved in to someone and moved in with a husband who she didn't even love. So it's like she went from loving someone who didn't love her, then had to basically be with someone who she didn't even like.
Well, 11 years or 8 years, they said.
Brutal.
With children. That was tough. That was tough. So I'm a big fan of Heather. She won me over this episode.
Oh, I love that. Okay, cool.
You have it here first. That's a drastic turn because I was shitting on her the first two.
Heather, killing it.
Heather is killing it. I found something, man.
So I love it. I like the fact that we're not just going with like the looks. We're getting some depth. You know what I'm saying? No offense about the looks. I'm just saying, like, clearly it's all looks. All right. Hold on.
Nothing wrong with looks now.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Okay, so let's go back in the car. What?
If Whitney asks me, like, hey, I thought we was going to go on a date. I'm like, yo, Heather, I love your story, but I'm
going to go ahead and just take a break.
Just take a break. Don't love me because, I'm in love with Whitney.
I'm already in love. Okay, so let's go back in the car with Lisa, though, because there was a hilarious moment. So he said, she was like, you have to work on your 10 commandments. And he's like, oh, don't smoke and don't do anything bad. And she's like, okay, well, no. And she's like, well, what else? And he goes, and don't look at porn. And the kid and it says his name and it says 10 years old. And I was like, this kid is like looking at porn at 10. Yeah. I'm like, this kid's screwed. Like, if he's already struggling with looking at porn at 10 years old, he's got to, he's done.
Well, you got to understand, in this generation, these guys, I saw a guy on TikTok who gets paid. I think he's like, 11 to 12 years old. And on TikTok, have over like millions of followers. And he lists out his whole like top 10 porn stars. You understand what I'm saying? He was like 11 or 12 on TikTok. Out his whole. Dark. And honestly, I gotta be honest. That was a good list.
I was about to say, how was the list?
This was great. I was like, this guy knows his stuff. I was like, yo, he gonna be. I gotta follow this. I followed him after that. I was like, yo, let me get this guy. I know what he's talking about. This is a good brand.
What he's probably doing is putting the feelers out there, being like, I'm huge on TikTok. I might be able to get in contact with some of these chicks. By the time I reach, he's like, I'm gonna start planting the seeds now, so that in 5-6 years, or maybe it'll be 7 years, like they'll be primed.
I'll be primed right there. I already know what it is. I know your work, big fan. Come on, let me see. Try that on me.
You're an artist. Yo.
Yeah.
All right. Then next up, we go to Meredith and her teenage son are getting fat cells removed together.
Oh my God! Can I just say something about her teenage son?
Hold on. Before you do, because we're gonna get into that. That kid is hilarious and insane. So, okay, you know what? Let's jump into it because let's go from they're getting fat cells removed, and then later they shoot to them in the kitchen together talking about everything. So, what were you just gonna say?
Well, you forget they were at I think Jen was at Meredith's house, her crib, and Brooke, that's his name, right? And Brooke, I think his name is Brooke, correct?
The kid's name?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I'm spacing on it, but yeah.
Brooke, he said Brooksy. Honestly, this is a fair question. Who's the parent, Brooke or Meredith?
It's a classic situation of like my kids are my friends as opposed to like my kids are my kids and I've like
Thank,
help them and I discipline them and like I like lead them. It's definitely
thank
like
you.
my kids are just my buddies.
Which is bizarre to me because this guy is Meredith is a grown woman, fresh off a split with her husband, and the fact that he tells her what to do. And Jen, let's just for the viewers. So Jen's over, and she's like, okay, she's Jen, she's being Jen, and she like does his move about like if
High kick.
the high kick, exactly the high kick. She has on a long skirt with heels on. By the way, these women wearing heels in snow, that's another subject.
First of all,
Anyways,
when he gets out of the car with those heels on,
yeah,
I mean, she
yes.
looks like a Roman guard. Those were insane.
They were all the way above the shin. That's how tall these heels.
Fully exposed, like feet.
Fully exposed. So, like the pinky toe was hanging on for dear life. And I think that when she gets inside, she has this long skirt. She has these gladiator boots and her open toes. Beautiful feet, by the way. I love a woman when she has pedicure toes. It's such a different element. And she's doing this move high kick, and she's like, "Yo, your mother." She's talking to Meredith's daughter and Brooke, and she does that, and she does it. I don't see any, and she keeps talking about her vagina, and she had made a comment about like to the kids. She was like, "Yo, if Meredith didn't birth you out of her vagina, you'd still be my child." You know what I mean? She said a comment like that.
Yeah,
and it's a joke.
It was no big deal. Like she was throwing her leg up, being fun. She says, and she's being complimentary, saying, "I love you, kids. Like if it wasn't for her being birthed, I would adopt you. Oh, I want you to be my kids. Whatever." And she's being like kind of fun. She's not even being crazy. She's not doing anything crazy. Let's be very real.
Thank you.
Our girls are 10 times crazier than this, and we love it. Yeah.
Go ahead. Explain.
No, I'm just saying, like, this is not crazy behavior. This is very mellow, just kind of fun girl behavior. Like, any one of our friends is 10 times crazier and more fun than this. And it doesn't faze us at all. So the fact that she was just doing this and got the reaction out of him was just bizarre to me.
Can I ask you a question? Did you see any vagina? I zoomed in. I paused it. I zoomed in. I made sure I did the slow-mo. I was like, because I wanted to see what Jen was looking like. I wanted to see if it was shaved. I wanted to see if it was like the Roman Caesar kind of. I wanted to see. And the fact that like he was over exaggerating the whole situation was bizarre to me. It was beyond like, okay, he took a joke, and you know what? It's this new generation. They can't take. Honestly, you have it's two sides of this generation. I think like you have the guy on TikTok, the 11-year-old that watches porn, and you got the other side where I'm too grown for this. That's inappropriate behavior. I don't live a little. I walk the straight. I'm like, grow up. The woman is having fun. This is your mom's friend. Okay. Now, all you had to do, if you felt uncomfortable, like the girl, let's just leave. Let's just get out of there. Let's just get. You know what I mean? The fact that you took a situation, you put 10 on 100, and I'm over this situation. I felt like he was being a little bit too strict. I was like, yo, who's the parent here? I literally had the whole scene. I was like, who's the parent here? And Meredith couldn't speak up. Crazy.
See, I don't think that the son was being strict. I think he's like an elitist kind of like dick. And I think he thinks he's better than everyone. Like he's like that classic rich kid that like thinks that like rich people do classy things and you don't behave like that when you're wealthy and successful or whatever. So he has this attitude of like, I don't think it was like an inappropriate thing. I don't think he thought like, oh, that's inappropriate. I think he thought like you're low class scum. Because he was so judgmental of her, and he's like, "We don't do that." And like, they're all like, any way he talks is just so like, we are better than everyone, and we don't do stupid shit like that, and we are behaved and classy, and you're trash. And like, he was very like gross like that. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't even like hey, I think it's inappropriate to do that. It felt very like, I am high class, and I would never do anything to make myself look that way at all.
I love that you said that. Now, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought up high class. out of all these ladies, who do you think is the most high class?
High class. It's hard because they're all like, I don't know.
I'm talking, who is the one that you see that got the flamboyant style, the look,
Right.
the attitude? Who is that?
Jen.
Okay.
But I think the difference is like someone like Lisa, like we know, because he thinks high class is someone who doesn't ever do anything embarrassing, which is like a Lisa, which is like, Meredith and Lisa are both kind of like they never do anything that makes them look embarrassing. Or Jen, Whitney, they have fun and they do crazy stuff. You know what I mean? So I think because then let's skip over to remember when that went down. He's talking shit on the interview. Then they skip over to when they're in the kitchen together. And Meredith's son is trying to convince the mom to cancel on Jen.
Well, this is why I feel like you should discipline your kids and not let your kids be your friends. Because with that, let's just talk about it. For one, let's just talk about the scene. We get to the scene. They're in the kitchen. Meredith, way too many avocados. Okay, I saw that. It was like 12 in that goddamn bowl. I was pissed off. Okay.
You don't need that many. I mean,
you don't need that many.
You need like 4 max.
4 max in a household.
Unless you're like a big thing of guacamole, like you don't need it.
Yes. Okay. We both agreed upon that.
Yeah.
Then he's lecturing his mom about Jen's behavior last night. Did Meredith interject? No, she didn't. She was like, I agree. Then when she was about to say something, guess what this spoiled guy did? Turns on the blender while she's talking. I felt like that was so disrespectful. If I'd have did that with my mom or someone back then that, my parents, I'd have turned on that blender. I'd have been inside the blender. My mom would have shoved me inside the blender. And you know what I mean? And then he turned it off and she didn't even finish her point. He said another thing. You know what I mean? He was like, that's inappropriate. She was like, you know what? I agree. So the fact that he took control of that conversation, Jen couldn't even express how she felt about the situation. All she did was, I agree, I understand. Then she was like, well, Jen asked me to go to her sleepover. Before she even finished, he says, absolutely not. Okay, this is Joy's last night. By the way, Joy's a freshman in college. I'm pretty sure she doesn't want to hang around her mom. You can tell by like kids these days. Just look at Mary's son. He's trying to get the hell out of here. I got a girlfriend. So
they're fleeing.
Exactly. So the fact that he tried to use his sister as a pawn in his, did you see what I'm saying? Like he's so
manipulative. He's super manipulative. That kid's sketchy, dude.
And I'm so disgusted with his behavior. I felt like he was the star and the sunshine of that family. But now I'm starting to understand this time.
I liked him at first. He kind of had like a rock star vibe going at first, and I was like, "Oh, this kid's cool. Now it's like, and he kind of seems like the guy that would walk out of a house, see a homeless person, and be like, "Ew, why don't you just get a penthouse? Like, why are you sleeping out here?"
Mm-hmm.
Like he would just say some weird shit like that, like, "Ew, why are you sleeping on the street? Like, just get a house." You know what I mean? Because he just doesn't even get it. Like he's just completely out of touch.
He doesn't understand what's going on in the world, and he's just living in his own world. And it's like, it's so uppity. You know what I mean? And
he's like an SNL skit of like a rich kid.
That's it. That's exactly what he is. He's an SNL skit of a rich kid.
He's like just disgusted by poor people. He's like, ew, that stinks.
Sure. By the way, his jacket was awful. I don't like his fashion. Now,
very basic.
Zoom over. So speaking of kids, we zoom over to Mary, right? And she's at the table talking to, I can't remember who she was talking to.
Mary and Meredith.
Okay. By the way, I love this duel. Oh my God, I'm such a firm believer of their friendship, and we'll get to that later on. But
yeah, because Jen ain't happy.
We zoom over to to that scene, and they're at the table. Now I have some understanding on why Mary married her step-grandfather, her grandmother's second husband.
Can I just say something real quick, though? It doesn't make it better to me, but it's interesting to learn how it happened.
Well, yes, it doesn't make it better. And let's be honest, I'm not trying to promote incest on
Well, it's not quite incest. It's more like porn because it's the step-grandpa. So it's like a porn scene.
Okay, either way, that's some freaky shit that I don't indulge in. So the fact that she was 19 years old and her mom lost, she fell out. She had a terrible fallout with her mom. Haven't spoke since. And her grandmother literally gave her everything. Gave her the church. Her mom wanted the church. She gave her the church, and then she said, like, listen, take care of my man. So it wasn't Mary's like first choice. She loved her grandmother that much. And the fact she was like, I'm gonna do it. And my granny told me to do this. I'm gonna do it. Now, did she particularly write that will like that? I don't know. I think old boy did that. He was like, man, I'm eyeing. I'm eyeing. I don't know. But she had other sisters and she stepped up to the plate. So she literally got everything. And she explained like it was weird. Like how we think it's weird. She's 19 and it was beautiful pictures of her. She was beautiful at that age. Okay.
Dude, I mean, okay, sure. But because I feel like you're bringing a lot of humanness to it, which I appreciate. I appreciate you're kind of bringing compassion and humanness. I don't want to bring that right now. I'm going to bring the opposite, okay? Talk about how fucking crazy this concept is. You have a grandpa. You have a grandma, and she's married to your now grandpa, okay?
Yeah.
You also have a mother who's with your father. Then one day your grandma says, I want you to marry my husband. And when that goes down, you and your mom are fighting for your grandpa and your grandma's wealth, church, and everything. Mary gets it. And Mary just moves in to her grandma's life. So she moves into her house, gets her money, gets her church, and gets her husband. And the mom is pissed about it. Like, what a bizarro world where you're fighting your mom for your grandma's life.
I watch a lot of Murray, right? And
this is some backwoods psycho hick shit. This is crazy.
I've never seen this on Murray, but I've seen this on Jerry Springer.
Right.
So I think that it's very new to me. I think it's so crazy how she tried to explain it, and I kind of got it.
But she was like, and now I wouldn't imagine anything else, and I love that I'm with him. And I'm kind of going, or are you just resigned to the fact that like you have no options? Because remember, she said you can't leave.
You can't leave. And honestly, we saw him, and he's built like a grandfather. I was like, oh hell no. But she also
built like the Kool-Aid man, dude. He's just like,
I was like, at least be a hot grandfather. I'm like, you lazy. Why did her grandmother see so much faith in him? But the fact that she was very. The compassion. I felt so understanding of her situation, because imagine me, and I love older women. Imagine me marrying a 68-year-old, right? Has children, all that stuff, and she's like, her body is so wrinkled, it looked like a leaf, right? And I have to, I married that, and I have to have sex with that later on that night. Thank God she was on her period.
Remember, she said she like stretched her period out for like 2 weeks.
And women, y'all have to stop doing that. Okay, a girl stretched it out for a month.
We know a period is not 6 months long.
I was about to say, God, this girl. I mean, one time this girl stretched it out so long. I was like, yo, I'll go down there with the blood. I'm tired of waiting. I'm telling you, ain't nothing but a little homicide.
I'm ready for the murder scene.
I'm ready. I watched a lot of CSI this week. I'm ready, sweetie.
Oh my God. That's insane.
She stretched it out on me that long.
That's another thing. It's like, dude, I've had sex with period. Like, no big deal. Like, this guy was probably down, and she was like, no. I was like, you know, when like, if she's like, refusing while on a period and you're totally down on your period, then like something's up. Because
what if old boy, he's old. He was like, shit, that's one thing I will not do. I was like, oh, you too old for this.
Probably too. Like, I would imagine if you're like in a cult or something, you can't do it. It's like unclean or some sort of like weird. Like, I know in the old Bible times, like they talked about how like when women were on their periods, they'd put them in tents and then just like ship them off. And then when they were back, when they were off their period, they can come back. So maybe that guy has that old mentality, the old tribe mentality.
Damn, I didn't. Okay, well,
I don't know.
I honestly, I think that the it was just like a confusing situation, and it goes back to like the Heather. I can relate to Heather so much because look, honestly, if you kind of look at it, Heather and Jen were in the same situation.
Yeah.
Neither one of them can leave. Only thing is like Grandpa, he's probably too tired to get a divorce, you know. But either way, I think if you look at both sides of the spectrum, right? Heather is all in, Mary is all in. So the fact that these women, and it just like shows like women would do for love or whatever, just to keep the family together and strong. So I kind of relate to them more opposed to, you know, a lot of people. I probably get slack from this, but I like Mary, I like Heather because they didn't have the life to let this woman grew up in the church. Her grandmother trained her. You know, she's like a mini grandmother of her. I mean,
Yeah.
her, you know. So I think that I'm Team Mary. You know, I always be that, and I understand her marrying her stepfather, step grandfather. I cannot believe I'm saying.
Dude, you know what's crazy about it is that she's the money.
That's what's killing me right now.
That's what I can't believe. She has the money and the church. This guy's like literally just along for the ride. He's got the best life of all time. What guy on the planet has ever pulled off being unattractive,
old,
and poor,
and body like Michigan Man,
and marry the young, better looking rich girl? Like that's never happened.
Oh my God.
Like you gotta be like a super hot guy to pull that off. Or younger than the woman to be the sugar, like to get with the sugar mama. But that's in the history of all people of all time. I don't think that's ever happened. I think he takes the crown. He's the ultimate winner.
I'm kind of jealous, and I feel like, you know, why God can't bless me with good things like that. I completely don't understand.
That's what I want to know. What did I do wrong?
I'm not trying to give up hope. Hopefully, you know. but
I know with hard work and dedication. I
can reach that goal. But yeah, so then we have that scene, right?
Yeah.
Then we doggy paddle over to I love that. We doggy paddle over to the next scene of Whitney and her father.
We're going to church finally.
Going to church. I know you wait. I'm gonna let you take over this segment. How did you feel going to that church, baby?
Okay.
You was waiting for.
Okay. Well, first of all, you know how I call this show, the Salt Lake City? It's kind of like Blade Runner to me because everyone dresses bizarre. You see the movie Blade Runner?
I saw the new one.
Okay. Well, it's similar. Think the old school one. It's like everyone's dressed bizarre in this kind of futuristic way. Dude, the way her dad dressed for church. Did you catch what he was wearing?
I didn't even look. I stared at his outfit. I mean, I stared at his hair.
We're talking about. Hold on, I'm gonna pull something up real quick. I'm gonna pause here, and then.
By the way, to be fair, when Whitney's on screen, I just look at her. So that's right. To be fair.
Hold on a second. I'm gonna pull this up. Whitney Rose, dad. Look at this guy, dude. Look at
that
this
was
guy.
Oh. I just wanted to go to a rock and roll.
He's rocking a sport coat with fur, okay? And then a salmon shirt to church. Now, I don't know what church. I mean, I've never been to a church like this before where like people, you can wear a salmon shirt with a fur. And by the way, the hair is just incredible. Like
I couldn't stop looking at it. But how about Whitney showing up in all black like it's a funeral? You know, I mean, church is.
I don't care.
You don't care? She can do that off?
Can do no wrong. But okay.
Hey, well, before you do that, the girl in the pigtails had me crying, laughing the whole time behind her dad because she was crying, and I was like, "Oh my God!"
Falling, dude. Wait, is she there?
Yes, I was like, Mary. Look, both of them though. You didn't see like both. I was like, what is Mary doing? Like I've been to church a lot of times, plenty of times. Never cried once, even when people got the Holy Ghost. And she wasn't even.
Everyone was crying at this church. Grown men.
Yeah. These are the best actors in the world, or you know,
Do we
They
need
are
to
really feeling.
do we need to fly to Salt Lake City and go to church?
I listen. I went to what was the first church? The big church or something like that. What's it called? The
Latter-day
Mormon
Saints?
church? Huh?
Latter-day Saints?
Is that the highest like building like a Game of Thrones?
Yeah. I don't know what it's called, but I know
Bro, you gotta be
I
like,
know the
it's
Mormon church is called the Church of Latter-day Saints.
okay, yes, it's like years you have to be in there. They throw weddings in there, but it's like you got to fill out an application, you got to get passed, and it's like a
Yeah.
whole big deal. But
Damn.
for them to go excommunicado and go to that, it's just like a life changing experience. And the fact that Mary just like she was preaching to the point that she got like people bawling. That's so funny.
Preaching. So he walks in with just like straight up 1985 Aerosmith hair and like the most insane, like basically a street level pimp clothes. They cruise in, and Mary's move was insane. She comes down the aisle like it was like a wrestler. It was like weighing in at 137 pounds, Mary Cosby. She's absolutely, and like because the music's like boom, and then she's
Yeah.
walking down the aisle like waving at
Killing
people
it.
like
Killing it.
hell
That
yeah,
with
here
the
we
whole
go.
Bible name.
Yeah, and then grabs the gold mic. And it's just like, yeah. It was just like, bro, this is a fucking WWE like entrance.
Tell the truth, be honest. Wasn't that like an event? That wasn't church. That was an event.
It was an event.
Yeah.
It was an event. Weighing in the grandpa slayer herself, Mary Cosby. It was like lights.
The work. Yeah. Hey, I think these people love Mary though. Like I really did. Like I really think
they were crying and like
right.
Oh my god, dude!
These people they really love Mary, and honestly, again, I'm a big fan. Like I was in there, I found myself a little tear came out to me when they started huddling up. I was like, oh, shit, hold on, wait, let me get my eye, because she is just like. By the way, when she talk, it's like I said, it's different Mary. It's like Pastor Mary and Mary, and you can just tell when she. I hate how she preaches because she whispered, "Oh yeah, Mary, oh man." I'm like, I couldn't understand what she was saying because she's like, she talks like she's exhausted. I was like, "Come on, Mary."
And she's like, "You gotta cover it." It was just very. It was like a character in a movie. It was bizarre.
Yeah, it was crazy. I was like, "Yo, she was speaking in tongues."
I liked how my favorite thing about her was that she, like you were saying, she has two different personalities. Because like we all know her as kind of this like sassy chick who like says what she thinks, but also can kind of like be rude and like call people out and all this. But then like on stage is this like Pentecostal like jumping around, throwing her arms up in the air. Like it would be so. But she had the dad crying.
Yeah.
She had Whitney like almost in tears.
And I think these guys, they are not great actors. So I think those are genuine tears.
I agree. The dad was crying, dude. She had so like maybe she's a lot more like, maybe she's got something in person that like you can't really capture on screen.
Yeah.
Able to get people.
Honestly, hopefully that she sees this. Please, Mary, fly us out. I want to experience, one of your services.
And did you notice that when she was singing, she had the gold mic, there was a guy behind her with a fan just fanning her?
Oh yeah, it's hot. That's the thing about church. It's hot as hell.
But she had a fanner.
Yeah.
And I was like, don't you guys have AC, a budget for AC? Like she has like Bentley.
You must not know about black churches. Nah. Black churches don't believe in especially on Sunday. Hell no. Black churches. It's so many times I came in like a long suit and I was sweating because it's so long, and I was like, man, you might as well. My real suit turned to a sweatsuit. I was like, am I losing weight as a kid?
Well, yeah, cutting weight. You were cutting weight.
I was cutting weight.
You just go to church whenever you had a fight coming up. You would just go to church.
That's all. I'll take
service.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah. Why go to sauna? Why go to the sauna? Hell no. Just go to church and you
go to Mary. She's the best trainer there is.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude, that killed me. Like faking all that emotion too. Like she just walks up and is just immediately crying, and I'm like, wait a second. Like imagine going to dinner with her, not knowing, just knowing her as who she is, and then going to her church. That had to be so weird. for anyone who
I
sees
know
that.
Meredith and Whitney. Like I know Whitney is a big fan because when she invited her to her 1920s event. So and we'll just talk about it. So next scene we have we have Heather, and she's like being generous and giving all her coworkers that are pregnant. They're pregnant at the same time. That's how I know. Like Salt Lake City quarantine, babies came out of it, and they're all pregnant at the same time. And she just throws them a great baby shower. It's so empowering for women. She's giving like a speech, and it's just like so uplifting, right?
Sick party.
So it's a great. I wish I was invited. I was like, well, I'm pregnant too with Heather. So she invited Whitney and she invited Jen to this party, right? So, when things are winding down, the ladies are talking, and then Whitney was like, "Yo, I went to church with Mary. It was so awesome." And then here Jen rolls her eyes immediately. Now, I could have swore last episode I thought we was talking about fresh starts because these women were talking about fresh starts. Even Whitney, she was like, "You know what? I really believe in clean slates. I'm going to invite Lisa." And it was like, "Oh my God, yes." And then she said, "Yo, I went to Mary's church. I felt great." And then Jen goes, "Hold up, you inviting Mary to this party?" And she says, "Yeah." And then she goes, "Oh my God." And then she was like, "What? I went to her church, brought my dad. Meredith was there." She's like, "Wait, Meredith went to church?" She was like, "Yeah." Oh my God. She can go to Mary's church, but she can't go to like a sleepover with me. I'm like, girl, this is God we're talking about. Okay, whatever you believe in.
She has a direct line.
A direct line. You must not know. This girl had women crying. And who cares about the sleepover? You're too grown to have a sleepover anyway. All right, just because your husband out of town doesn't mean people should just like stay on your schedule. You got like 12 assistants for that, right? This is why I fell in love with Heather, because Heather was like, "Wait, I thought last episode at the dinner we was over it. We were everyone apologized. Mary apologized, saying like the things that she said about your aunt, but you can't let it go. You're trying to find ways to hate Mary, right?" So Jen obviously admits, she was like, "Yo," she says, something about my aunt. I didn't like it. I don't care if you apologize or not. I don't like you. And that's where fake comes in. This is what people call you fake, right? So if you have beef, you say like it's cool, we can move forward. Then
Gotta
let's
move
end
on.
it. Gotta move on. Like I don't like this girl, but the fact that she said, "Well," Whitney goes, "Well, why? I thought the beef was like slain." She was like, "No, you know what? I don't care. Who cares? This girl's irrelevant." Well, clearly she's not irrelevant because she living in your head rent free. Like she stays on your mind. Anytime you mention Mary, she goes crazy.
Crazy.
So that right there was just so uncalled for, right? So then, okay, whatever, right? She was like, I'm gonna go. Then we get to the 1920 party. But before we get there, it's a scene where all these women are getting like dressed, and here comes Justin, his punk ass. I'm sorry, Justin is Whitney's Rose, supposedly husband. And they're in this beautiful closet. She's looking like Marilyn Monroe, beautiful, long lit cigarette. And he goes, "Go look, you wearing it to the party?" She was like, "Yeah, gold looks good on you." That's the compliment you gave her? I'd have been, if that was me,
Hold on. Before you say anything, let's just kind of like calm ourselves down for a little bit. And then I want to send this like as a video to Whitney. So just kind of like, prep yourself, make this like a presidential address. What would you say to Whitney when she was dressed like that?
Whitney.
Speak to the camera.
I'll speak to Whitney.
Yeah, this is Whitney you're talking to.
Whitney. Gold does not look good on you. You know what look good on you? Me. Your green eyes is green like a tractor. You have a body of a goddess. I look at you and I see hope. I see hope for the youth. I see hope for my generation. When I see every time you speak, it soothes me. You sound like a summer dove flying over the city. Whitney, Rose, it's not enough roses in the garden that shows your beauty blemishes over the specific human beings. Baby, I want you to know, I will look past your dad's hair to be with you. Go have fun at your 1920 party, baby. Wow. That's what I'd have said. That's what I'd have said. That's what I was. That's what she did. No, you know what? That's what she deserves, bro.
Wait,
Okay.
I had one question. Did you say your eyes are green like a tractor?
Yeah.
Like a vroom vroom tractor? Just
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
great. That was the only part I lost it a little bit, but other than that, 10 out of 10. 10 out of
Okay.
10. Because
Okay.
I don't know if
Well,
green like a tractor screams
your
romance.
eyes are great.
But I can't. This is all on the spot. This is like no prep. I gotta hand it to you. That was really good.
Eyes green like a tractor.
I mean, a
A tractor
tractor is
green.
not like a beautiful thing. It's just like a fucking tractor. But like, it'd be
But
like,
how
saying,
green?
oh, your
How green?
eyes are green, like a trash truck going by, like a recycling truck.
Well, I'll never say she's trash.
I'm not saying yours. I'm just saying it.
Since you put it like that, that's so rude.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut that up and we're gonna send it to Whitney. Just kind of see what
Okay,
happens.
cool. Okay, cool. Go ahead.
Okay, sorry.
All right.
Continue.
So anyway, so these women are getting ready, and we fast forward to the scene where it's 1920s. You got to walk through the back. This woman, like, she's at the door. It's like a secret. I love how discreet this party is. So we get to the back. You got to say, I'm here for the 1920s party. Everyone is like having a great time, dressed in like, I felt like I was watching MASH. I'm not gonna lie to you. And I was like, is this Perry Mason? I don't know. So again, the ladies are vibing. The ladies are having a good time. Now, Whitney Rose, she loves stripper poles. So what? Let the woman have a good time. She has women on poles. Lisa, like you said earlier,
Is coming in, baby.
I don't care how much you try to have a clean slate with these women. These women are going to be themselves. These women are going to have grudges. That's what makes the show. I get that. But Lisa, you're trying to pick out stripper poles? You know what I mean? Like, she was like, the girl is too much vagina in her face. I was like, the girl had panties on. You could have looked away. You didn't literally have to watch it. I turned my head when the dude was on.
Yeah. Let's be very clear. That party looked amazing.
Oh my God.
All these other parties that these people have thrown, like these kind of weak ass, like little dinner hangs, whatever, dude. I want to go to that party. That party looked like a great hang. She had the most fun. She brought the most coolness. Like the location was cool. The party was cool. The strip pole was cool.
She did that.
Lisa is jealous, dude. Lisa's so jealous of this chick. It's crazy. Lisa's jealous that she's prettier, that she's younger. She is tripping on her.
Everything you said, I agree with you 100%. And and then there's one particular housewife, she throws like horrible parties. I'm not going to say her name, Jen, but she keeps going down this road of like, I'm the queen. I do all this. I do all that. A simple party with no assistance. That looked dope. I was like, I want to be in it.
But got the right idea. Like, let's do the party at the cool event place, not put sheets in my house.
Yeah, exactly. And the fact that she, forgot about this. It's a party, right?
Yeah.
Out of these 6 women, can you guess who showed up fashionably late?
Classic Jen move.
Classic.
She walked in looking at people like, yes, I'm here. You're welcome.
I'm here. Hi, darling. Like, it's her party. Like, who are you right now? Right? So she walks in. Yeah.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
So she walks in and, I see she already admits that she's been drinking, right? She's trying not to go in on Meredith for no apparent reason, right? Because you want Meredith to pick a side, right? Like, and I get it, these women are catty, but the fact that you openly said this woman is irrelevant. If she's irrelevant, why do you have a problem with her talking to, Mary? Why is Meredith a big, like, you want her to pick a side? Like, it's not Bloods and Crips, it's Mary. Mary has a great, listen, Mary made the, Mary.
That's a great line. It's not Bloods and Crips, it's Mary. That's great.
Yeah, the title of the episode. Look, it's not Bloods and Crips, it's Mary. But so she walks in, and I know how you I know I experienced for my of course we didn't have a lavish party like that, but just going to a party period. I know how it feels when you have tension in the air and someone's already bringing that energy. Mary didn't even know. Mary is vibing. She was like, yo, I'm having a good time. I thought the slate was clean. I apologize. Now you about to ambush me. And Meredith was like, hold on. She thinking everything was cool. So the first person, so everybody is already clicking. You're late to the party. You look over and you see them talking in casual conversation, and that like abrupt you to like go crazy. I know we're getting off like topic for the next episode, but I'm just setting the scene up. I like what's going on with this woman. Like this woman really wants to be the queen, right? And it's so bizarre and it's getting on my nerves.
It's when you force yourself into a role that you're not supposed to be in.
At all.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And you know, it's so obvious that she's not the queen because the queen would never stoop to these levels. What's so crazy about Jen is the level at which she's basically in the 7th grade. Like, at what point in your life did you get over the whole you can't be friends with them because I'm not friends with them? Like, that is like 5th grade shit. So the fact that she's furious at the fact that Meredith is still friends with Mary, even though they had like one comment that was made and has been resolved, and she's like, you can't be friends with her anymore. Like, dude, I love you because you're bringing drama to the show, and I appreciate that. But if I was near that situation, I'd be livid to be like, oh wait, so because she said one comment to you didn't like, and she apologized, and you guys got over it, I can no longer be friends with her. Like, how old are we, dude?
Mm-hmm. No. You know what? It's some catty high school drama kind of stuff. And I think the next episode, let's just fast forward a little bit. The next episode, it shows us with Jen and Heather talking. She was like, yo, like, what's the big deal?
It went off.
I
can't wait.
And that's why I like Heather, because Heather, like, she's on everyone's side and she won me over. And we get to like Jen's like dad passing. And the reason why she has so many assistants is because she's lonely and she's expressing lonely behavior, you know? And I can't tell people how to cope with their loss of a, you know, a significant person in their life. But at the same time, you have to move on. You can't have you can't have childish behavior. That's bad for your brand. That's bad for your husband who's like a head coach, and you out here wilding out. Like, that's just too much. And like I said, and it all goes back to Whitney Rose. Now listen, Whitney, next time you throw like a 1920 party, I'm gonna need you on that pole to like make the scene better. I was waiting for you to get up there, but I get it. Your 1920s, you didn't want to go too much, but I will appreciate that.
You're like, let's do a 70s party. let's do a 70s party. 70s, 80s party.
Spice it up a little bit.
Well, I thought it was a good episode. I thought there was some good stuff. I thought it was more than drama. It was more educational. And I feel like because these women are interesting, it's interesting. You know what I mean? Like, we got tons. We got cheating. We got grandpa marriage. We got divorce. We got like crazy, like Jen and her husband. Like, we got interesting people that have come from a bizarre background of like a cult, that it's like, even so even when there's not a lot of drama, it's interesting. I think we got a good season on our hands.
I like it.
I mean,
again, this is episode 3. I'm tuned in. If you're not watching Salt Lake City by now, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah. These women are giving their all. These women are laying it out on the line. They're giving us the drama. Yeah. Please return the favor by watching these ladies.
It's going to be great. I think it's going to grow. I think it's going to be sick. All right. Next week, we'll be back in studio.
Yep.
Back in. This is this is Thanksgiving Day. We're doing those things.
Yeah,
Happy Thanksgiving, dude. But we will we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
All right, sweet. See you, everybody.
All right, bye.